I wanted to run, I couldn't. I wanted to run, I couldn't. I looked at her, I said, hey, you won. I couldn't chase her. And I stopped, I went, what are you doing? Like, I just couldn't. I'm not even joking, Stephen. She ran, and I just couldn't move. What are you doing? That's when I knew I couldn't handle pain anymore. Because this is what it is. People forget about anything that you can think of. You need to love pain to be an athlete. And I know, no pain, no this, whatever, all the
correct sense.
Oh my, no, this is real. You need to love pain. However, mentally, physically, love it. You need to love it. If not, stay where you are.
Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games, max, right? Week in between, spaced out, plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short. Right? I gotta get stronger. I gotta train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I gotta tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale and say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it.
Done. I need you to recycle your pain. Put it down. I need you to, okay. I want to just show you real quick. I want you to recycle your pain. Now, many of you, when you get this water bottle, you might be thinking this is the first time that this is the very first time this particular plastic was formed. And we don't know, this could have come from anywhere. Right? So you gotta do me a huge favor. I need you to put this down, put this down, put this down. Because what you're gonna discover as you're going towards your dream, and as you're going towards your goal, man, so many distractions. There are gonna be so many people haters, so many people that come up against you, so many obstacles, so many trials, so many tribulations. And when people ask me, E.T., like for real, E, I know you can give me 20 things that you've done to help yourself to become successful. But E.T., I just need like one or two. Can you give me one or two? And one of the things I tell people is, I outlasted the pain. I outlasted the pain. When I was sleeping in those abandoned buildings, I kept telling myself, one day you'll be a homeowner. Every time I walked into that abandoned building, I told myself that this might be your current circumstances, but this will not be how the story ends. All you have to do, E.T., is to survive today. Every single day when I woke up in that abandoned building, one day is going to be E.T.'s day, but that day can't come if I give up today. So every single day when I woke up, I kept telling myself, today might not be the day, but soon it will be my day, and I will recycle my pain.
Both of them together, when you have the vision and you're able to manifest, but then you also put the work in, magic happens, man. Magic, that's where the magic is, but a lot of people never get there, unfortunately. A lot of people we're blessed that we can dream.
So get over that. Embrace the pain, is what I say. Pain is good for you. It's great for you. When you work out, we all like to work out. I'm a fanatic of working out, and particularly swimming is my thing. It's painful.
Yeah.
You know, I swim long distances. I used to swim several miles. Now I can only do like 1.5 miles at the most. But you know, you reach the half a mile or 3/4 mile, man, it's like, this is no fun. But when you finish and you've gone through weeks and months, you feel the value that you get is much greater than the pain. That pain, that resistance is good for you. And the idea that you want to sweeten the pot or shortcut or get something, you know, like a sugar high, you're already on dangerous ground. I probably have a high tolerance for pain.
If you're building the muscle either way. You're either building the muscle that says, I do what I say, I keep the commitments that I make, or you're building the muscle that says, I make excuses, I don't do what I say, I can't be counted on, right? And so when we think about discipline, it's really about like, what promises are you going to keep? And the tricky thing is you're keeping promises to yourself that nobody even knows that you made, right? It's not like, hey, you made this commitment. If I don't write this book by this time, like, you know, I have to do this embarrassing thing, or, you know, then I'll retire. You know, you're not really putting your ass on the line in that sense, but you've said to yourself you're going to do this thing, and building that muscle is really important. I mean, I do think one of the critical things about having a physical practice is you are building that muscle of like, I told myself I'm going to do this hard thing. Now that hard thing is approaching, and am I going to come up with an excuse? Am I going to give myself a way out? Or I'm going to do it. And then when you do it, now you're in the middle of it. And now you're tired. And there's this voice inside of you that says, oh, no one's watching. You can stop anytime you want. Just turn around. Just go back or slow down. It'd be easier if you slowed down. And the muscle, or the part of you that is able to override that, is a really critical muscle.
You guys will really see what I went through. This was no easy task for myself. You guys have no idea. When you're hurt, how do you feel? You lay down, right? You take a second, you go, you take your vitamins, you do your thing. When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have, is being in pain, because everything else, happiness could be fake, crying could be fake, but pain, shit. That's real. I got kicked in the leg. It hurt a little bit, but I walked it off. When I got kicked in the leg and I smiled, that was real. It did not hurt. It took me 4 months because I've had great trainers. Well, trainers meaning doctors, okay? Doctors, therapists that have helped me battle back from my arm. Dude, I've had how many surgeries, guys? Who knows the right amount of surgeries I've had? None of y'all. I've had 5 to 6 surgeries. I can't even remember how many surgeries I've had. Well, that's plenty of time to learn a thing or two about a thing or two, don't you think? And take an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not gonna take your condescending handshake, therapist guy. I'm gonna do this shit on my own. You're telling me 6 months to a year? I'm gonna do it in 3 months. I did it in less than 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because I was good health, good rest. I took the Kobe Bryant approach. The more I got towards this fight, sleep less, run more, work out more, feel better, eat good, rest more. Repeat the process over and over, and it showed inside that octagon tonight. Anthony Pettis, very game opponent. We did our homework and we saw him quit. We made him quit.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
Today, I wanted to just really hit on something. Successfully dealing with pain. I think you hear many stories, and every story I just sat in the back room and listened to. I'm watching these people triumph and figure out ways to keep going. But how do you keep going? Why do you keep going? When the world says everything else is supposed to be opposite. Because nobody knows what I'm dealing with. The greatest pain a man will ever go through in his life is the disconnection of a father. When you know he living. Pain is a repetition of the psyche. Until you learn how to figure it out, until you learn how to tap it on the back and say, I know you there, but I'm built to deal with you. I don't want nobody to leave here today and not understand why we must find a way to push through pain to understand that's on the other side of that is glory.
I was homeless for 2.5 years. And the problem with most of you never felt no pain before. Y'all spoiled. Y'all spoiled. Some of y'all spoiled. Just bottom line. Your parents have done everything for you. You never had to do nothing for yourself. You're spoiled. We're gonna keep it real tonight. Some of you are spoiled brats. Every time you ever got in trouble, somebody in your house got you out of it. Every time you done something you're not supposed to do, people say, Eric, your mother's a tyrant. You're right. She kicked me out. You're right. She's mean, but she developed a man because she put me out there and said, you're gonna have to grow up. And some of you have never learned to grow up.
Most people believe comfort is ultimately a good thing. Complacency is insidious. We have too many opportunities to settle. we get pacified, and we refuse to struggle against resistance. No one sits down and makes a plan for becoming obese. No one decides a dead-end job is perfect. And no one purposefully designs a relationship that leads to unhappiness.
I've been trying to tell y'all, it's not your circumstances or your situation that determines if you're gonna be successful or not. I've been telling you it's your mindset. It's the way you see it. It's the way you think it, right? And I'm hurt, man. I'm hurt. People are hitting me up. E.T., man, I've been working for a year. I've been working for 2 years. I got injured. Is it over with? E.T., I'm going through pain. Listen to me very closely. You gotta hear what I'm saying. I've been trying to tell you for the last 2 years that pain is temporary. I've been trying to get that into your spirit. I've been trying to get you to celebrate pain. Are you hearing me? I'm trying to get you to have an understanding that pain is your friend, that pain is gonna take you to the next level. When I walked away from that job, I said I will never be treated like that again. I will never go through what I went through again. And that pain pushed me to right.
Then you took a deep breath and dove in and let yourself sink down, it clear to the bottom. And after you had been down inside pain a while, you found that, like with cold water, it was not nearly as cold as you had thought it was when your muscles were cringing themselves away from the outside edge of it as you moved around trying to get up your nerve. It's a good call with life. Lean into the pain. Don't draw back away from it. It won't be as bad as you thought. And in fact,
you know, going through that pain actually solidifies that lesson way more. It's like Bruce Lee says, the pain will leave you when it's done teaching you. And I tell people that too, like in my brief in the morning, I'm like, hey, we're not here to teach you leadership. We're not here to teach you tactics. We're here to teach you leadership. And in the absence of knowledge, because you don't have any, knowledge doing this, what do you have to lean back on? Your leadership, which is simply you trying to influence another 25 people towards a common goal. So you're going to have to use all those tools that we've talked about. Mm-hmm. And the groups that do the best are the ones that are able to apply it immediately. Like, they make that connection. And the ones that struggle.
Do not give up. Do not feel like you're tired. When you tired, think of last year and think of that fucking record. Every time I get tired or I think I can't go no more, I think of that fucking record. That ain't us. We can make it. We gotta believe. We gotta be mentally strong. When we tired, that's when we gotta put our fundamentals together. That's when we gotta be more focused. When we tired, look across the field and see how tired they are. That should give you more effort. Be like, I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm gonna get fundamentally strong. Everybody's great when they're not tired. The champions is when they tired, that's when the real champions come out. That's when that real dog come out. Because if you go piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the big dogs eat. Let them on the fucking field. Have some heart. I get emotional about this. I'm about to cry because I care about y'all. Last year wasn't it.
And dreams without goals are just dreams.
Come on.
And ultimately, they fuel disappointment.
Exactly.
On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply. This all comes from Pastor Bernard. I just stole it.
It sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar. You must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, way down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2-a-days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
In my mind, I'm always the best. I don't care what the people are thinking, what they say. In my mind, not just this year, but always, I'm always the best. I'm always going to say that because I think we have to thinking we are the best in our area. So in my area, I think I'm the best.
Maybe it has never been done before. That's perfectly fine with me, but I'm gonna do it.
I am of the belief that if you truly adopt that belief in your soul, then you walk to work every day not looking for excuses. You're looking for a way for the job to get done. And in most instances, you are going to be successful than not. If you don't want to talk to somebody with problems, and you don't want to talk to somebody with solutions, then to me, you're the problem. Because you're not trying to solve. You want to go with status quo. You're perfectly fine with flowing along, just
safe,
to get along,
secure.
Safe, secure, whatever. But when you're trying to win, you're constantly looking to get better.
If you make a couple of these adjustments, man, you could change your life. You could change your family forever. It's not casual. Your family tree, let's show you know something. You meet somebody wealthy, their family at one point was not wealthy. And then the one shows up. The one. One person changes the family tree forever. In my family, I'm the one. And it wasn't because I wanted it or I hoped for it. I fought for it. I fight for the interest. Give me the info. Tell me what to tweak. I like that evangelist thing. Man, that stuff about influence is awesome. I thought he was smarter than me. Turns out he's dumber than me. I want to win. I want to fight for my family. I want my mom and dad proud of me. I want my kids proud of me. I want me proud of me. I want to look in the mirror and be happy with the man I look back at. That he gave it everything, that he went for it. Everything he's got. That's what I want for you. I want you to be happy with you, not cool, where you fake it in front of it for everybody here. I mean, when you're alone and you're brushing your teeth, you're driving in the car, you look up and go, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you, sister. And you feel it. That's what I want for you. And every once in a while, you need someone to come along and go, come on, let's go. I don't care what level you're at. I'm talking to me as much as I'm talking to you. All kinds of things I ain't doing like I need to be doing. You can change the chapters in the book of your life if you want to. There's a book being written about you. Even if you don't have faith, would you agree someone's probably paying attention to that you're here? Yes or no? Yes? You can decide, you and God, or you, if whatever you believe, you're the author. You can turn the page just like Max did on that golf course.
They're winners. And when you're a winner, you don't even stay in your own little town. When you're a winner, winning spreads. So everybody, I got videos where I'm like, y'all, I don't really know how to show my passion. That passion is all over there. Why? Because winners win.
Everything's not always about winning and losing. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
No one should put this many hours into work. This is not good. And people should not work this hard. They should not do this. It's very painful.
Painful in what sense?
It hurts my brain and my heart.
Instead of the path of, least resistance, I started choosing the path of most resistance to prepare myself for the journey that was coming my way. And you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are. But that's the part people don't want to dive into. It starts with yourself, man. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's going to be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you want to do is go back to what made you confidence or what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot? No. What gives you confidence, what gave me confidence, was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own. Realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't, but I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. I used to stutter severely bad. So right now, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this. You know what gives me confidence? Is knowing I no longer care if I sit here and start stuttering to you.
Yeah.
That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them. and face them. Pretty soon like this, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's where it's getting built. Happiness, peace, enlightenment, it's all up here, man. It's all up here. If I start talking like this, people are, man, you know, no, it's the truth, man.
Yeah, it is true.
It's all up here.
There's a difference between a winner and a champion. You can win and have a bad attitude. You cannot be a champion and have a bad attitude. The difference between winning and champion is the way they think. Champions think different than winners. You can win just having a sweet coach who got a sweet plan. You can have a coach that just played the game at the highest level in Texas and be able to just teach you some stuff about the game that you don't know. You can win like that. You can win with a great coach. You cannot be a champion with just a great coach. It's gonna take you and the coach. So number one, listen to me very closely. I'm trying to help you. Somebody asked me today when I landed, how was your flight? I said, is that a joke? What do you mean, how was it? It landed. I'm not my grandmother. I ain't clean, and no disrespect to my grandma, I ain't cleaning nobody's house for free or for money. I don't clean houses for free. My life way sweeter than what my grandmother's was. Way sweeter. My grandma would go grocery shopping, and I remember she had a list, and she would be checking stuff off and putting a dollar amount next to it. Because she didn't know if she was going to run out of money by the time she fed all her grandkids. I don't have that problem. I'm going in and buying juice. I'm buying name brand juice.
I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have. That's all they've done. So once I realized that, if you want to sit back, like for instance, there's all these things that are on TV, and we have all these news people judging people who fuck up in life.
If you're creating a company, then I'd say focus on signal over noise. A lot of companies get confused. They spend money on things that don't actually make the product better. So, for example, at Tesla, we've never spent any money on advertising. We put all of the money into R&D and manufacturing and design to try to make the car as good as possible. It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It takes a lot of effort. But if you're trying to do something new, it's the best way to think. And that framework was developed by physicists to figure out counterintuitive things like quantum mechanics. So it's really a powerful method. Anyway, so that's, and then I think that the final thing I would encourage you to do is, now is the time to take risk.
I had a purpose. I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play. And anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for. The love of the game, the challenge. Like I would watch Magic play, I'd watch Michael play, and I would see them do these unbelievable things. And I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out. And so that curiosity to see where I could push this thing led me down that path, I think.
It's I think the best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. But you always want to outwork your potential. As hard as you believe you can work harder than that. And that's what I tried to do when I first came in the league. But basketball is such a direct competition sport that me coming in at 17, I hated when my teammates would say, I get hit with an elbow, right? Shaq would hit me with an elbow in practice. And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was gonna work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. If you live your life to just get better every single day, You do that for 20 years, I mean, what do you have?
You see, while you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And when you finally look around at where you are and where I'm at, you'll realize that you have nothing left to talk smack about. And you will lose and I will win. And this here applies to when people are playing office politics or forming their little cliques or working their personal agendas. And again, I know sometimes you have to play those games, but let your first course of action, let the fundamental core of your reaction be to outwork and outperform every last one of them.
I was up this morning here. I've been here before. I was in this spot right here. I was talking from right here. I envisioned it. I saw it already. I see it before it happened. You got a 1, 2, 3. Come on, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, write this down real quick if you got something to write with. Number 1, discipline. Discipline means that you dominate when you feel like it and you dominate when you don't feel like it.
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
I think a lot of entrepreneurship and even personal growth is training yourself on how you respond to hard. Because in the early days, hard was, ooh, stop. This isn't good. I should, this is a warning sign. This is a red flag. I should slow down or I should stop, I should pivot. But the more I think about it as a competitive landscape, as I'm clear on what this path is supposed to look like, and these rocks and these dragons are things that I'm going to have to slay along the way to get the princess or get the treasure, I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's going to have to fucking try.
Yeah.
And I think that is so much more motivating as a frame for the exact same circumstance.
I don't believe in talent. I'm here because I worked hard my whole life. Without that work, no one in this room would know who I am except my family. So to all the kids around the world watching, paying attention, and aspiring to be like one of us or even on the stage someday, put the work in and watch the magical ride you go on.
Impossible is nothing compared to anybody that tries. Nothing's impossible then. You know, that's the total belief in yourself. Confidence breeds success, success breeds confidence, and confidence applied properly will supersede a genius. Life is just a circle. They're gonna hate me again one day, and then God willing, they're gonna respect me again one day. That's just, I personally don't live for people's opinions, so that's why people are gonna always be a little bit upset with me and not really dig the comments I make, but that's not what my existence is about. My existence is about raising myself to that level of love of self. If I don't get a run or working, then this is kind of messed up. When I win the day, when I win the morning, I win the day. So that's why exercise is important to relieve your stress. Win the morning, you win the day.
People say I'm an overthinker, but I'm better to be an overthinker than an underthinker. My brain's active and it works, and I'm searching for ways to improve, and there's just something in me that knows I can get better. There's just something in me that keeps on telling myself, like, I'm getting better, I can get better, I can get better. And if I get better, what happens? I beat someone, I win. And what happens when I win? I become champion. And I got that, but also now I look back, priorities change. It's like, I want the W, but I also want the finesse. It's all in here, where you are here. If you're still that same fighter in your mind, even though people say you're not as good as you used to be, if you still believe it somewhere in here, you can claw something out of you. And in a fight, when you need to claw that out of you, you'll have it. Especially a fighter like me, where people really want to beat me. They don't just want to win, they want to beat me.
If life was nothing but green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how hopefully there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing?
The winners that I know always feel like they should have done more at the end of the day, even though they worked harder than everyone else around them. The winners that I know always feel they're behind, that they should have done more than they did that day, that they could have achieved more, they could have made more, they could have added more value, right? And that is a mindset that you can develop. That is not some kind of innate trait that I have or other people have that you don't have. You can develop that by setting higher standards for yourself. They don't want you to change. They don't want you to transcend. They don't want you to become the best version of yourself. Because if you do, that is threatening to them. That is scary to them. So what else do you need to know? Well, you could either do the work today to become your highest version tomorrow, or tomorrow you can feel a lifelong of regret.
I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
The stress is okay to feel in adversity. It's where the stress leads you that you need to avoid. You need to prevent the stress from being strong enough to make you avoid adversity in the first place. If you start to feel stress about adversity, I think diving right into it is like the secret for growth.
A part of that is having the will to succeed. Knowing that you put the work in and have the confidence to let it show. What I tell people is just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do, or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful and whatever you put your mind to. Make sure you live in the moment and work your butt off every single day. And I hope I inspire people all around the world to just be themselves, be humble, and be grateful for all the blessings in your life. And I'm truly honored to be your MVP this year.
Funny, to me, the mentality is a really simple one, in the sense that the confidence comes from preparation. So when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before, right? So when I prepare, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. Right? And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. So it's one more time. The Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest. So starting at the age of 2, when I first started playing the game, and on and on and on, I always ask questions. I always try to get better every single day.
the things change, the world changed, the football changed, the rules changed, everything changed. So my move, I think it was a good move. I feel so happy. Many players moved there, coaches, directives, even nutritionists, they moving there. So the sour is in the process that will take long, but in a life, we always say, step by step, we reach to the highest level. So I believe they're going to be in the top 3-4 in the world, but step by step, I think we're going to reach that. It's part of the journey. I'm always dealing with that. I'm professional 22 years. It's part of my journey to be a better man, a better player, a better father. So it's good. I like when the people doubt about me, and I prove again that 1 year with successful. I had last year a little bit difficult journey, but I'm glad that things happen because make me feel more strong.
Why do you believe that he's better than you? Why do you think he should have all that money and you don't? And he was really serious about it. And that's with the competition shit. That's it right there, breathing that stuff right in me. Why should he have it and he's not better than you? He said, man, you're fighting good, but I wish you were bigger. He said, I wish you were like Kenny Norton, another guy, Mike Weaver, because they had big bodies and they could intimidate somebody. And that hurt my feelings. I said, I make sure the whole world will be afraid of me. After that, I go downstairs, eat breakfast, go to the school, come back from school, eat my food, dinner, go back to the gym at 6 o'clock, train, come back at 8 o'clock, watch fights, start all over again. I do a lot of channels. I do most of my gym work, and I watch movies. That's the most part of my life.
You wouldn't have suffered enough. I've been suffering all my life. I'm sorry. It's not enough. You know what it's like to be poor, and you know what it's like to work hard. Now you're gonna learn what it's like to sweep floors and bust your ass and accomplish twice as much as all the kids around you. And it won't mean anything because they will still look down on you. And you will want so much for them to like you, and they just won't. And it'll break your heart. And that'll make your heart bigger and open your eyes, and finally you will realize that there's more to life than proving you're the smartest person in the world.
This whole thing about suffering, yeah, it sucks. Really bad. Really, really bad. But we all live on this side of suffering. On this side. This nice box that's very comfortable, that we know when everything's gonna happen. We're in it, it's good. We know how everything's gonna turn out. It's those few people who are willing to go on this side of suffering. And once they get through that, ask him how he feels now. His mind, how far he grew. In that short period of time, he grew so much more than the normal person because he was willing to go outside himself. Because on the other end of suffering is greatness. It's not over here. So a whole bunch of us, we put ourselves in this great box. And in that box, there's no suffering in it. So what we do is we shelter ourselves from greatness.
I was to tell this young man or woman that the only way I believe, this is just my experience in life, the only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it, some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old, and they have great lives, and they have great kids. Their kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. And I would tell this young person, you gotta start your journey. It may suck. So that's my happiness, is my reflection on the suffering of my journey, knowing I never quit, nor was I guided by anybody on this earth. I was guided by something much more powerful, and I listened. And I chose the path of most resistance. Talent, not required.
We're built to walk uphill. And when you reach the pinnacle of the hill, you want to stop and appreciate the vision, but the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance, because it's the uphill climb that it's from the uphill climb that we derive our value. And I mean this technically. So almost all the positive emotion we feel, especially the emotion that fills us with enthusiasm, and that's to be filled with the Spirit of God, by the way, because that's what enthusiasm means. That's experienced in relationship to a goal. And so in some sense, and this is part of the religious enterprise, you want a goal that you can never attain, right? So you can always move closer to the goal that recedes as you move towards it. You think, well, that's frustrating. It's like Sisyphus pushing the rock uphill. But it's not, because as you pursue that goal, you put yourself together and your life does get better and richer and more abundant. And that's why the highest levels of virtue and goal are in some sense transcendent. You want them to be above everything you're doing so you can continually move towards something that's more sublime and better. That's what you are. You're here to live, not to sleep.
When you set a dream and you say, this is what I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you make a plan, and the plans are good. But if you come to a certain point where there's a tree across the road or the bridge is out, you can't say, well, there goes my dream. You've got to be flexible. Well, what am I going to do? What adjustments am I going to make to be able to still get to where I'm going, to be what I want to be?